it must be for her and the entire New Zealand Elites team.
Great advert for the sport of underwater hockey.
It must be for her and the entire New Zealand Elites team. Silver is always bittersweet, taking second place, but again, no shame in to the Great Britain team. I mean, they played an absolutely phenomenal match, and they were able to get just an incredible journey through this. We're going to go down to Adrian once more again here shortly with an interview from one of the coaches. In the meantime, we've got the men's elite matchup coming shortly, and we will see that matchup. It will be the France men's elite team versus New Zealand. So again, New Zealand, 6 divisions coming through with their teams here, going to these finals, and just incredible to see what a powerhouse they are in these championships. And so we'll go back over to Adrian Battersby with one more interview here down below on pool deck. And we'll turn it over to Adrian now.
Right, I'm with Tibor here, team manager, coach for New Zealand Men's Elite. And, well, we've just had a cracking women's match. I'm sure you were watching that out of the corner of your eye. And what are your thoughts about this final coming up?
Yeah, I think it was a really tough match that the girls played. I think we're going to encounter a similar type match against the French. I think that the French are a very good team. We also have a very good team, so it's going to be a super match to watch.
Yeah, we're all looking forward to it. I commentated on your match against France in the round robin, and you were 4-2 up and lost out 5-4. France scored 3 goals in the last 9 minutes. You know, were there any lessons you think in that maybe you were a little bit too slack towards the end and you should have tied it down?
That could be one of the issues that we certainly spoke about, is, you know, that relaxing when you're ahead type thing. I think the second one is the fact that some of the players were kicked out certainly didn't help. But in effect, yes, we can't discount the fact that the French are a really good side. So, yeah.
And they played a great game against Australia. Having said that, you got yourself into a position of 4-2 up, so you must be quite confident coming into this final.
I believe that we have the manpower, the systems to be able to take this match out. Yes, they certainly do.
And certainly, talking to a few other people around here, some of the guys have said that New Zealand at the moment, you've got some of the best players who've ever actually played the game. Would you agree with that? That there are some absolutely amazing players in your team at the moment?
I believe, and I've sort of been in the sport for many years, and certainly in New Zealand as well, that this is probably one of the best men's teams that have left the New Zealand shores to come play the World Championships. Yes.
Well, we're going to look on those words. We're going to really look forward to seeing them. Thank you very much for your time and good luck.
No problems, Adrian. Thank you.
Thank you, Tibor. And there you see the French team coming out to warm up.
Here you can see the athletes on deck here, France versus New Zealand. Brought to you here live on 24/7. We welcome our viewers from around the world tuning in for this. We know it's a little bit early in some areas, probably people just getting up in the middle of the night to watch this match, and others it's midday or thereabouts. So I'm glad all of you could join us here for this fantastic matchup, and it's going to be again an incredible matchup here. So stay tuned for live action here as we introduce the teams.
shots in the back, so good. When you go on those guys.
Well, what an atmosphere, and what a great advert for the sport of underwater hockey. We've got Kiwis all around. New Zealand have had a great tournament here. They've won 4 out of the 5 finals they've made. It could be 5 out of 6. They only entered 6 teams in this competition, and they made finals in all of them. There's the team list you can see. Unfortunately, they haven't entered the starting 10, so that's just the squad list. I'm not sure who's taken a break for France. Maybe the officials don't actually know. But that's the France starting, and there's the New Zealand starting again. We haven't had the 2 hasn't been scrubbed out of there, but that's the squad. And this should be an absolutely fascinating match. I've been looking forward to this one. I commentated on New Zealand versus France in the round robin. It was 4-2 to New Zealand. I'm sure you've heard me say this before. New Zealand were 4-2 ahead with 9 minutes to go. I remember saying at the time, look guys, this could be the final, and this is an opportunity. If France are going to really put one over the Kiwis, this is it. They need to score 3 goals in 9 minutes. And guess what? They went and did it. They won 5-4. France, incredibly strong athletic team. You only have to look at them on the sideline. They got muscles on their muscles, these guys. As for the New Zealanders, well, they're not exactly shrinking violets, are they? And we're getting ready here. So here we go. It's currently 5:15 here in Egger. It's the final match. I don't know how many, I should have counted up. You know, I'm a stato. I usually count up how many matches we've had. 38 times about 6, or 250 something. Does Darryl know?
We've actually had almost over 400 matches, if I look correctly on the game sheets, Adrian. So we've had quite a few. In fact, this is game 424 to be exact.
424, brilliant. Here we go. It's the men's elite final. We've just seen an absolute cracker in the women's. I just hope this one's as good. I don't think I can stand any more matches after this. It's absolutely been a phenomenal tournament. And now we've got the 2 best men's teams in the world going head to head. So here we go, New Zealand starting strongly. And a good move along the wall. Up to the surface, and there's a strong counter-attack here from France. Puck's just stuck in midfield. It's just one of these incredibly muscly battles. And Darryl, I presume early on, of course, you know, both teams full of adrenaline, full of energy. They've had a good rest. First 5 minutes is all about, it's just, look at this, look how physical that is. That looks pretty tough on the screen.
Yes, that's right, and there's a call right away from the referee. It looks like it's a stick infringement call, and both these teams, being men's elite teams, they do play very physical, sometimes a little more physical than some of the other players, but this is what happens in these matches. It's an incredible matchup.
So free to New Zealand. We'll push it across, and France happy to take that into the corner. 5-4 the round robin was. That would be a semi-final if we saw a final at 5-4. Typically, they're much low-scoring affairs, of course. An illegal stoppage of the puck there for France.
Yeah, legal stoppage, and so that will give New Zealand the advantage deep in France's territory. And France has got an incredible swing play, so we'll see if they, if New Zealand tries to penetrate here and France tries to swing it out to the far side, or if they just decide to hold them in the corner and then work it out up the wall. So here they go along the wall, New Zealand and France there. New Zealand going to try and get it off the wall and make this big push right away if they can while they're deep in France's zone. But no, France gets better of that, and they actually pull it out along the wall. So good job by France defending there and coming out of their end. New Zealand trying to hold them tight along that wall and keep them in their zone, but they can't. And France doing a good job trying to keep it out at midfield. Now New Zealand on the push once again, coming into France's territory, and there's a signal for a call on the play. It's a gloving call against New Zealand, so France will get the break and take the advantage puck.
France have the advantage. They'll have the free puck here. And as I think if I was a betting man, I'd probably bet for 0-0 at half-time here. And here comes France on an attack through the middle, and it's a strong swim already. New Zealand have to get down quickly, and we're going to get called to the surface. Number 4, I'm doing my lip reading correctly. And there's an obstruction. And a bit of crossing there as well. And here we go, end camera.
And France is going to take this puck, and they're going to shoot it right in right away. And there's the initial push, and it's a goal early by France. It looks to be a goal. One moment, no, the referees are waving off that, and a penalty. So not only do they not get the goal, they get a 2-minute penalty as well. It's called off.
That's a really big call, isn't it?
Huge.
France thought they had a goal, and Cedric Rollin is going to get 2 minutes instead. And France look really up for this, don't they? There's some real physical play in there. And T-Ball's interview, I don't know if you didn't hear it, Darryl, but you know, I just said to T-Ball that some of the New Zealand players are considered to be some of the best players of all time, and he said he thinks that it's the best ever ice hockey team that's taken underwater hockey team that's taken to the water in his books.
Yeah, this has been such a strong team, but you know, like I was saying in the pregame there, France has been absent from the gold medal match for some time off the podium, and they're looking for retribution to come back on top again here. They placed third last time. Here's a big push coming now from New Zealand. Out of their end, they push France deep into their territory, but France gets the puck. Nice job by the defenders, and they just push it out to the outside wall. Now they're trying to cycle. They're just going to wait for help, and they will slowly work it out of their zone. There's the flick past the New Zealand defender, and they come up the wall. New Zealand trying to hold them there and pushes it right back. Both teams going at it hard on the wall now. Here we go, trying to push up the wall. Good little stick handling move to get up the wall, up to midfield court. Now they continue to push into New Zealand's territory. Oh, great pick by New Zealand, and they come right back down the field. It's a big fast swim. He's looking for another attacker, but can't quite find one as they're late coming in on the play, and France just picks that one off and goes right back out to the wall. A little bit of a scuffle there along the wall, a couple arms getting in the way of each other, but referees let them play on. Now New Zealand continuing to make the push. France trying to stop them, but here's the big push out front for New Zealand. France gets down on the bottom in the way. New Zealand still trying to come through. There's the push on the goal. It looks like they're right near the trough. Can New Zealand put it in? There's a call on the play, and it's an illegal stop by France. So is New Zealand, illegal stop by New Zealand, it looked like. So as New Zealand tried to flick the puck back over to one of their teammates, it looks like they grabbed it with a glove or an arm and caught them. And so France will get the advantage, free puck out of their deep end zone. France also calls a timeout, and they'll regroup here, and we'll see what happens.
Well, it's a sort of typical men's final, really. Both teams full of adrenaline. They know there's no more matches to play, and to be honest, I think you know, they know that they're going to give absolutely 100% in the water here today, and they're going to come out of this pool absolutely spent. And looking at the two girls as well, you know, two girls teams, they've got nothing else left. They gave it all in the water today.
Yeah, for sure, and that's typically what happens between these two elite teams. They put so much on the line when it comes down to these final matches like this, and everything goes into it. They're running on adrenaline, and when the match is over, they are just done. Emotions, physical strength, everything.
Yeah. So France get the free, and so far it's been pretty level. I'd say it's 50-50. France flick it up, and puck goes into the French corner. New Zealand have shown in the past they can score goals against France, but also vice versa. New Zealand digging it hard. Good bit of strength there from New Zealand, but France come away with it, and that's beautifully taken by one of the New Zealand players. Good interception there. We're going to be called to the surface. Chopping, and that's going France's way.
So it looks like France did a great job defending that penalty. That's why New Zealand was on such a big push for a while there. France gets the better of it, and with that stick infringement, they'll get the free puck. So France is going to take this free puck, and here they come out of their zone. You'll notice how one France defender is actually, or attacker, is facing back towards his own teammate. It's a strategy they use. They flick the puck into that person, and they kind of do a sweep play underneath them and push it over to another attacker who's in the nearby vicinity. So here they go, France now on the push. New Zealand, though, driving it back out to the outside. Wow, that was a great little stop there as he batted it up into the air, or the water, so to speak. and they blocked that puck. Now both teams along the court wall here, and there's a call against New Zealand. It'll be a gloving call.
Well, there's some real power underwater. Some of these hits look big on the screen in front of us. God knows what they're like down there actually taking them. There's two very strong teams, and there's no quarter given here. This is pretty brutal stuff down there. There's some great talent, brilliant athletes, everyone. As France move it towards the New Zealand goal for the first time seriously in the match. We did have the French score a goal actually, so it's, I could say, second time seriously, and it was declined by the official. That was pretty big call. And France here for their second big move. They're starting a Mexican wave around us here, or they call it a wave. I think there's only people in the UK who call it a Mexican wave. Here's France in front of goal. Oh, they've pulled it in. No, it's been called. Oh. Right. Well, Davil, you tell me what's going on there.
Well, it looks like senior referee Simon Talbot in the water there was signaling a foul. There's no goal on the play, but it is an advantage puck for France deep in their zone, right on the 5-meter line, and they're going to take this free puck.
Yeah, that was an illegal move by the French there, and that's how the puck popped out. But now, New Zealand defending their corner. And France have... you could almost say they're experts in these corners. If the puck's in the corner and France are there, you know that they're bossing things. And New Zealand managed to move it up the wall. In fact, when they scored goals against New Zealand, it was from these corners. And I don't know if New Zealand have been watching the videos. I'm pretty sure they have. New Zealand move it out, try and move it in themselves, and they get an opportunity. Moving it up the side wall. France have to cover, but this is a good move from New Zealand to get themselves out of trouble. Some nice passing, and there's going to be a chopping against New Zealand. France will get the chance to counter-attack.
Right, Adrian, and you know, this New Zealand team now has taken a couple of fouls for stick infringements, or chopping as you say, and they have to be careful. If New Zealand gets down with a man in the box, France can be very deadly on the power play. I've seen so many times. They have some incredible speedy plays, and they will swing that puck around and try to get it in fast on New Zealand territory and punch that puck in.
France on the attack down the right-hand side, but that's beautifully cut out by the New Zealand fullback. France have got extra numbers in though, and they've got an extra man in the middle. New Zealand having to cover. They had to scamper there. That was a bit of trouble for New Zealand, and in the end they did well and come out into midfield. This is a lovely flowing move from New Zealand. 1 second, they're in trouble. Now they've got 3-on-1. What an opportunity for New Zealand, and the one Frenchman is having to do an incredible move to keep that out. That's great defence from France, whoever that was. Absolutely brilliant move with chopping call.
Yes, there was a stick infringement called by one of the referees here in the water, but senior referee Simon Talbot is looking for one of the French players as well on that maneuver. And it looks like we may actually have a penalty situation.
Yes, it looked as if he was through on goal there, didn't it? It was 3-on-1 for New Zealand. And yeah, Talbot there just... he's not sure, but he's saying to the French, look, you've got to send somebody in. Colombians, yeah, the Colombians aren't shy, are they, in front of cameras? Well, one of the Frenchmen's going in. And it's not a penalty, but it's a free for New Zealand outside the goal.
Right, Adrian, and so they send the player out. I believe it was for a 2-minute penalty for France. So France now going to be a man down right away in this first half with 4 minutes left. And that's a goal! Oh my goodness, New Zealand just quickly grabbed that puck. They made the big flick and just punched it straight in. So New Zealand takes the initial action here and scores the first goal on France. And those penalties, like I mentioned, can be costly for either team. It's going to be quite the chess match between these two here.
What a great goal. Jesse Hocking there. Herb Taurus as getting 2 minutes in the sin bin. It was a power play for New Zealand, and they took that well. New Zealand take the lead in this men's elite final. Pushing it down, and New Zealand pushing for a second here. They're going to try and take advantage. I've got a feeling this could be a low penalty game, to be honest. You know, penalties count for a lot in the men's elite. New Zealand moving across well. I love this camera that's moving around. We get to see a different angle in front of the goal. New Zealand looking to try and use their extra men. Move it down the right-hand side. But France are there, and we'll try and clear They'll try and take their time here. France looking for support and they get it, but New Zealand are in on the party. New Zealand looking to flick it across, but that's a great interception from the number 2 for France, Arnaud Legab, one of the star players for France. Also the man who's had the most penalties in minutes for the French team, so he gets himself in a bit of bother from time to time. Our hockey fans love that sort of thing, don't they? Here we go, New Zealand looking to try and make a move here. They've still got the power play. Still got 24 seconds on here. Power play could be a big move. And France very happy to move that out into the corner. They'll happily just take their time. Tactically, they know what's on the clock. They know there's only about 10 seconds left on Torres's sin bin, and we will come to the surface. And that's going to be called France's way.
So a good job by France defending that penalty as they run out the clock on it, and the 6th player will be back in for France, and they'll get right back on the attack now. You're going to see France go to the outside wall. Here they do, just to be safe. They make a nice little flick and try and bounce it off the wall, and both teams will battle now that they've got 6-on-6 hockey once again. Now here comes France with that big flick getting through, and they're going to try and push it deeper into New Zealand's zone now. France doing a good job now that they've got full 6-on-6 hockey once again. Referee on the surface signaling an advantage as they saw something happen. And there's the call by referee Simon Talbot. And it's an obstruction call against New Zealand this time. And they're sending number 3 out, Richard Maxwell, I believe that is, for a 1-minute penalty. And New Zealand is going to call their timeout with 2 minutes left in the first period. So that they wisely use their timeout as they take the penalty to rest their defenders and see if they can stave this off for the next minute while he's in the box.
Power play opportunity here for France. Penalties not actually being entered on the software. Good, New Zealand have a current timeout. And doesn't the time fly? When you've got great underwater hockey, time just flies so quickly. I can't believe we've nearly had 15 minutes already. 1:54 left in this first half. New Zealand, this, you've got to say, is New Zealand's tournament anyway. They've won 4 out of the 8 finals. They, in fact, in the under-19 men's category, they lost to Colombia. They were big favourites to win that, but Colombia put in an amazing performance in that final. So it could have been 5 out of 5, and here they are leading in the men's elite. New Zealand will certainly be celebrating tonight, whatever happens here, and they're currently one up in this.
And here we go on the face-off. France takes the draw. Here they come now, challenging on New Zealand, with New Zealand a man down. Now it's right in front of the goal. Here's the push. They're coming in hard. New Zealand's defenders are down. New Zealand manages to get it out towards the corner, and they're going to hold it there. France comes in with 2 attackers, though, to try and pop that puck out. They want to get this goal quickly because they know it's only a 1-minute penalty on the New Zealand player. Here they come now, racing up the back wall. It's a push there. Oh, what a great job by New Zealand, though, stopping and getting out there. They try to get the flick past the France defender, though, and they just knocked that puck down incredibly. And unfortunately, though, that great knockdown, what looked to be such a brilliant move, was actually knocked down with the arm or the hand, and so it will go against France in this situation. And it looks like New Zealand is going to have their 6th player back in the wall. So France not able to take advantage of that 6-on-5 situation, but they continue the pressure in New Zealand's zone. Now France is continuing to push hard. They try to get through. There's a big hard push. They managed to punch the puck down to the back wall, and that puck is flicked out by the, it looked like by the New Zealand, yes, it was flicked out by the New Zealand defender, and so that will go in favor of France with only 25 seconds left in this match.
France push in. This is a big push from France. It's not a power play anymore. We've got 6 against 6 in there. Everybody was under the water for 5 seconds there at least, and New Zealand had to work really hard. France are digging hard, but there's only 7 seconds to go. New Zealand will be happy just to put this in the corner and tie it up, and that will be half time. Whoa, what a tough first half that was. And, well, it's going to be interesting to see what the French team will have to say to their players. New Zealand seem to own this court. Look how many Kiwi shirts there are in the audience. They're having a great time here. But the half-time score, you're looking a bit hot, actually.
And that's correct, Adrian. I mean, that was an incredible first half. The score is 1-0, both teams taking a couple of penalties. New Zealand able to capitalize, though, on the better of them and get that quick goal off of the France penalty. And, you know, New Zealand has been so dominant in the underwater hockey world for so many years. If they haven't been in the gold medal match, they've surely been many times on the podium. And that's largely because they start with their programs with their kids in high school. And so they've got plenty of time to get those kids coming up from the under 19s all the way through.
Well, I'm sorry, kids, but I'm sure there's a lot of kids watching this on replay during Sunday in New Zealand. It's in the middle of a night down under. There's only the real diehards who've got alcohol to fuel them that are keeping them going in the middle of a night. Now, hello to everybody in Melbourne, for those of you who are still awake, and around the world as well. And Darryl, you know underwater hockey very well. What do you think the New Zealand and the French coaches are saying to their teams right now?
Well, the New Zealand team is they're going to continue to just try and play their game and you know, keep that pressure on France and try to keep them from penetrating into their zone and get caught off guard. France, of course, they need to step it up now, and their coach is telling them, like, we have to move, and we want to make a quick move early and get that tying goal. You're going to probably see France switch their tactics up a little bit. They're having problems coming in on the New Zealand attackers, or the New Zealand defense. I think they're going to try and open up this play, swing it around a little bit more, and create some space for them to swim through in the second half. So it'll be interesting to see.
Well, the French team are ready. They've had their little chit-chat with their coach. The Kiwis are everywhere here in this arena. They're having a great time. And in fact, those are the French. There's the French national anthem being sung by the French contingent here behind the French goal. They've done their half-time sing-song. We're getting ready for the second half. It's the final 15 minutes. Here we go, final 15 minutes. And we're getting ready for all the action. Darryl Brambilla and my name's Adrian Battersby here to give you commentary on the final 15 minutes, possibly a little bit more, of action here at the World Underwater Hockey Championships 2013. This is the Men's World Championship final, and New Zealand leading 1-0.
And right away, both teams back at action. Here we go. France trying to get the early goal in this second half. As you can see, they're instantly getting it out to the wall, and they're going to try and punch through there. They started to do that swing play, as I mentioned, but New Zealand very smartly cut that off quickly and force France deep back into their territory. So now they're at the 5-meter line along the wall. France trying to get something going. New Zealand, though, with those forwards just not giving them a chance to move around at all and shutting down that swing play. Now France, though, gets a bit of a break to the outside. They're cutting across court on the 45-degree angle. They'll go all the way over to the side, but there's a signal on the, or a foul signaled on the call, and it's going to go against New Zealand. So that's good news for France, and they're going to take this free puck here at about 6 meters out from New Zealand's goal.
France have an opportunity here. They had a goal that was disallowed earlier on about this stage in the first half. They've not had any serious attempts since. There was one incident, but it was a foul called, so we can't really count that. And New Zealand very happy to put this up against the side wall. When I was talking to the coach for New Zealand, asking if maybe New Zealand were a little bit naive at not playing against the wall enough and trying to tie down the game, and he actually said, yeah, you know, that's something we have talked about a little bit, and maybe we'll try and tie the game up a little bit if we find ourselves in a lead coming into the latter stages of the match. And there's possibly some of that thinking in New Zealand right now.
Yeah, that's a common tactic, actually, is that teams, when they get up and they know that they are strong on the wall, they will just simply try to run out the clock and defend as best they can, especially if they've only got a 1 or a 2 goal lead and they know that the other team is starting to come on strong.
New Zealand have said before they don't play like that. They like to play expansive underwater hockey, They've got to have a very cool head on their shoulders as well. Bit of sensibility in there maybe as well. We'll see what happens. France looking to push off the wall. Will get called to the surface. And that one is going to go. Oh, we're going to sin bin offence. Stopping the puck illegally. And he's going to get 2 minutes. So New Zealand, number 5, who's Rob Tinkler, will get 2 minutes in the sin bin. And we're going to have a timeout for New Zealand now. And there's the vice captain, Rob Tinkler. He's going to have 2 minutes there. He's going to have a little think about life while we have a timeout.
So both teams are quickly going to just have a quick chat with their coach, and New Zealand, I think, is just going to want to rest their players while they take this 2-minute penalty. This is going to be the hardest 2 minutes of the match right here, right now.
French coach there. No, apologies to the French fans. We were trying to get an interview with him before the match. He doesn't speak English, so we had to go and get a translator. And by the time we got the translator, they were starting the introductions of the teams, which was a little bit unfortunate. But there you go. Sometimes everything doesn't come off. We will talk to them after the match, of course, should France win.
That's a great shot of the New Zealand team just getting set up. Look how tight their formation is here. That's number 6 there, Brendan Maxwell. You watch how tight this formation is as France tries to shoot it in. The Kiwis are going to just be just a solid unit here, like a wall almost, and block this initial flick in. And there they go, and they try and get that initial flick in. France, as mentioned, New Zealand is so tight on that. They tried to get in there. Couldn't quite do it, and referee Simon Talbot sees a foul on the play, and he's signaling now an advantage puck for New Zealand. So good news for New Zealand.
New Zealand get an opportunity here to breathe a little bit. It's a power play for France. New Zealand capitalised on a power play in the first half, and you can see that France are all over this one. They're meaning business in this. This could be the only power play they get in the match, and they're really coming in strong in that corner, digging away, trying to dig the puck out. New Zealand have got to, there's a lot of skill involved, but sometimes you just need some raw muscle. And the French are coming in, digging hard. That puck, they're trying to pop that puck out. France have got a man right in front of the goal, ready to pop it into the tray if the puck does come out there. They've got men involved. Puck does come out, but New Zealand come away with it. Short-handed at the moment, but France are all over it already. They've got an extra man, remember. Playing it into the corner, digs inside. Puck's being moved inside and covered by New Zealand, and we come to the surface.
And it looks like that's going to be a stick infringement call against France. I tell you, Adrian, if France manages to pop in a goal, you are going to hear this place. It's going to be pandemonium. It's going to be absolutely crazy in here with a 1-1 tie if they can do it. So New Zealand will take the free puck, and here we go up the court.
New Zealand pop a high puck up, but it doesn't go anywhere. France are anticipating that again. France have got 5 men down there. They're meaning business in this play. They're going for a big push, and it looks as if they made. Oh, it's just cleared by New Zealand. Oh, well, they had. I think they had 2 extra men down there, France, at that moment. It was a miscalculation by New Zealand. They're coming in on the left-hand side again. France are pushing really hard for the equaliser here. Puck's on the edge of the tray. It could be a goal here. France are pushing really hard. They've got the extra man. The referees are calling it. A goal has been called for France. It's a goal and an equaliser for the French team.
Well, Adrian, as I mentioned, it was going to go crazy in here if France got that tying goal. Looks like player number 10 from France, Mehdi. I'm sorry, I'm not going to try and pronounce his last name, but Mehdi is a good friend of mine as well. I know he lived in Canada for a while, but he is from France. Got his mask taken off on that stage of that match. You can see him there in the box trying to get all sorted out there.
I can't believe that you know him and you don't actually know how to pronounce his name. It's Mehdi Benjelloul. There you go. We'll go with that, shall we? Nobody can prove us wrong at this time. And, well, what a goal for France. What a great move there. They used the power play. They only had about 10 seconds left of the power play, and they took it, and they've equalised this matchup. This is going to be an absolute cracker. Into the corner. Light's just fading a little bit here, so it's just looking a little bit darker out there, and we go into the far side. And we do have a little bit of a dust issue, but it's not been too bad for us. It's just starting to get a little bit worse as we see here. New Zealand moving it down the right-hand side. It's 6 aside, 9 minutes to go in this second period. And France looking for the break. We'll go to the surface.
And yes, referee Simon Talbot calling up another foul. It looks like this time it was a stick infringement. Oh, and that's going to be against New Zealand. That's number 3, Richard Maxwell, going to the box, I believe, for the second time in the match. And that's going to be bad news. France now is going to be sniffing goal territory again here. So let's see if they can take this. I believe that was a 2-minute penalty. Yes, it was. So France again on the push. It's going to be a tale of penalties, really. I believe that's going to determine this match at the end of the game. It was a similar situation to the New Zealand match, ladies elite match, except New Zealand managed to stave off a number of penalties. What an incredible battle along that wall there. You saw the puck pop up on the gloves, and yes, the referee's making a call on that, I believe. There was a stick infringement and a glove, and they're calling number 8 for 1 minute penalty, I believe, from France. Yeah, he's headed over to the box right now. The referee's just trying to reconfirm that. They've stopped the time. But yes, it's number 8, and he's going for 1 minute. So now France with a man in the box, and New Zealand and a man in the box, and will be a 5-on-5 situation here. New Zealand with the free puck. They make the launch into France territory. 5-on-5 aside here, a little more room to move things around. And they keep the puck on the outside wall, and boy, these guys just bat that puck right out of midair under the water. It's crazy sometimes how they've got that hand-eye coordination, and they can do that. Knock things down and just bolt right back down the court. So the physical battle continues along the wall between these two powerhouse teams. And this time it's a glove called by the referee. And it looks like it's going to be against France. So New Zealand will get the puck. And France now deciding to call their timeout midway through the second period.
So here we go. We've just got a little conversation going on. I think we've got a referee's timeout. In fact, it's a France timeout. So it's a France timeout at the moment. And wonder what they're saying to each other there. We can see there's it's going to be 5 aside. Both teams, looks like a pretty equal penalty actually, although Maxwell was in for 2 minutes and Nicolas Legay only for 1. And well, 7 minutes to go. We've got the final quarter of the match. Getting some beautiful shots here from our mobile cameras. Absolutely loving the work that Andy's doing down on rinkside. And well, just stop to have a little think for a second. This has been all action, finals on all the different categories, 8 finals. It's been great fun. And there's our Frenchman. There's Nicolas Legay in the sin bin. Here we go, 7 minutes to go.
And France looking for a little bit of retribution here after earlier in their day I reffed their men's masters team against Great Britain. Unfortunately, they did not win that one. It was a very nice game, 3-2. Oh, there was a hook there by number 2 on France, Arnaud Lagabé. But a referee lets that play on, as he did get the stick around the neck there, as we saw on our camera. But the referees continue to let it play on. Now there's a signal. And this time, though, it's a gloving call. So the refs possibly were just blocked by view of another player in the way, unfortunately. But we did catch that on our camera. And here goes the play again.
Richard Maxwell into the pool. It's back to 6 aside. This game has not held up one bit. It is still as tough and strong as ever. 2 very good teams there. Puck's moved on the other way. And we're going to come back out of the water. So there's quite a lot of calls going on here. I'm just wondering how long it's going to be before we're going to see a few warnings here from the officials. It's getting to, I don't know if you feel the same, but it's getting towards that time where the officials are going to start saying, look, I'm getting tired of this.
Yeah, this is typically what happens. We start to see the fouls start to escalate, and then a number of penalties follow very shortly afterwards. The officials have been fairly lenient so far, but I think we're going to start seeing a few more penalties coming up shortly. So here we go again underwater. France deep in New Zealand's territory. Oh, there was a big push, but New Zealand managed to bat that out of there as France was so close on the goal. Here they're still charging in though. France, all the power on the bottom right now, trying to push that in. New Zealand manages somehow though to get it out to the side wall and defend that hard push by France. 6-on-6 aside, they continue to go at it. Both teams back in New Zealand's corner now. Referee's looking for a foul, as those things can typically happen as they get buried in the corner. A little shoulder here or a little stick lift of another player's stick, and that's a typical situation that will sometimes happen in the corners. It takes a keen eye sometimes of the ref to be just over top of the play and catch up with those situations. And there's a foul signaled on the play. And they're calling for a penalty shot. Oh my goodness, this is critical. A penalty shot with only 4:45 left in the match. This could be the deciding goal of the match if they get this goal.
I don't know, did you see what that was for, Darryl? What the penalty was given for?
It looks like somebody was trying to come down the back wall, and I believe it was a glove foul stopping them from getting in. And so we're going to go to our underwater camera and watch for the penalty shot on our corner cam, hopefully here. Here comes the penalty shot. And there it is, there's a shot in. And they're signaling for the goal. France gets the goal. It's number 7. Number 7 scoring the penalty goal. Penalty shot goal with 4:40 left in the match. What an incredible job by France. That really could be the deciding goal of the game.
Herve Torres gets the goal for France. We didn't see a great amount of it on camera, I'm afraid. There's a little bit of confusion. I don't think the director realised that they were actually taking the penalty so quickly, but they didn't mess around. And France now have 4 minutes to defend a 2-1 lead. And, well, they did this successfully against New Zealand. They held it up against the side wall, but the French can play when they need to, and they have done, and they've turned this around beautifully. We come to the surface. You can't hear a thing here. It is so loud. The French are cheering and calling away. Their team are leading. New Zealand considered one of the best teams we've ever seen in underwater hockey, but the French are currently leading them. France are looking for a third. A third goal would kill this off.
Well, New Zealand needs to get back in this game right now. They don't have a lot of time left. There's 3.5 minutes to go. But as we see New Zealand has done before in the round robin, they came back and made it an incredible game against France. So we're looking to see if this happens again. They're trying to push hard still, France, against this wall. They're just going to keep New Zealand down in the corner and probably try and run this clock down. There's an obstruction call, though, it looks like, against France. And New Zealand will get a breather here to try and get it out of their zone from their 5-meter line. So good news for New Zealand as they were trapped deep in their corner. Now here comes the free puck once again. New Zealand makes the big flick out. France shuts that down right away. New Zealand tries to get something moving along that wall. If they get into this hard physical battle on the wall, I think they're going to be sorry. They've got to get it to open water where they can use that speed that we've seen so many times before by these players.
Looks like we're going to have a sin bin here. One of the officials not too happy with the officials not too happy with our camera being on them. No, we don't have a sin bin. It was just a foul called, and it's gone to New Zealand. New Zealand have got 2.5 minutes to get back into this World Final. The women managed it. They were 2-1 down in their women's final, and they put in the play of the tournament to pull in from a side wall and score an equaliser. Now the men have to do the same. That's going to go New Zealand's way as well. Still, referees are being quite nice to the players. There's no warnings out there. They're just letting the teams play hockey, and it's equal each side. Everybody's under the water. It's a big scrabble at the moment, and it's 2-1 for France against New Zealand, and we come to the surface again. It's going New Zealand's way. And you just feel the pressure. The clock has stopped at 1:58. This is brilliant.
This is going to be a big face-off right here. This could be the determining equalizer. Here's New Zealand's big flick through. They're going to try and get it, but France knocks that one down. You'll notice New Zealand staying down here in case the puck swept back in, but France managed to defend that and just push it right back out to the wall in the corner. New Zealand's got to get this off the wall, swing it back in, but France continuing to dominate and keep possession here. New Zealand now hard on the charge. They're trying to get it off that wall. France doing a great job holding them. Now here they come off the wall. There's New Zealand making a big push. Here they come. France manages to strip it off the New Zealand attacker though, and they got 2 down against the 1. New Zealand, nobody to be found after France steals that puck. They can't afford to not have bodies on the bottom at this point of the game. They've got to get them engaged. Here he comes trying to get through the scrum, but there's a call. It's a stick infringement call. Oh, and that's against New Zealand. Oh, that's going to be a heartbreaker.
That's a really big call at this stage in the match. Only 1 minute to go. And you just feel that France have got 1 minute to tie this up. They're very good. Oh, look at this, he's going straight for the corner. France know what they're doing here, straight for that wall corner. They're not even going to go forward. They've got 1 minute to tie this corner up, and there you go. Straight into the left-hand corner. And now, how many times have we seen this? The official, oh.
And there's a sin bin call. It was an obstruction against the France defender there. And that could be good news for New Zealand this late stage in the game with less than a minute left to go. Here comes the big flick right now. This is it. There's nothing left for these two teams. They've got to get this puck in here. There's the flick. They're along the wall. France down defending. New Zealand trying to get it up the wall, but France somehow knocks it back out to the wall.
Oh, this is amazing. 36 seconds to go. New Zealand looking to pull the puck into the middle. France battling as hard as ever. They've got to work harder. They're a man short. 30 seconds on the clock. New Zealand looking to try and pop that puck out, but France are strong. France are good at this. You feel that they almost train for this. New Zealand are putting everything in. They know they've got to work hard, but the strength of the French team, that puck is not moving. They're managing to rotate around and around. The French crowd are cheering them on. Can the puck come out? That's the big effort for New Zealand. It looks as if France are going to do it. They're pushing up the side wall. This match is over.
The match is over. It is absolute pandemonium in here. France has won 2-1 the World Championships, the men's elite final. France somehow came back from that 1-0 deficit, go up 2-1. France is now the world champion once again on the podium, gold medal champions, Adrian.
What an incredible performance. France have beaten New Zealand twice here in this tournament. They are deserved world champions. Look at them, they were behind both times and they came back to win. And the French team, it's their only final in this event. They've won the gold and they've beaten a star-studded New Zealand team by 2-1. Look at the emotion on the French players' faces. This is a massive win for them.